Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, dear friends, now we are having Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha ji with us. He is a faculty member in the Department of Commerce, PGDAV College, Constituent College of Delhi University. And he's going to talk on the topic foreign direct investment and make in India. So, sir, now time is yours, sir. You can start your presentation.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, it is
Thank you,
visible.
sir. Thank you.
So, the light behind you is making your face very dark.
Okay, sir.
But it will be too dark in that case.
Now it is clear, sir.
Better than earlier, but yes, it is dark, still dark. But better than earlier, sir. Yeah, this may be better.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. My presentation is visible, sir.
Yeah, it is visible, sir, but make it full that presentation mode. Full screen, it is not coming.
There is some problem, technical. Just a minute.
Recording in progress.
So if it's not going full screen, you may present like this also.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, it's moving.
It is okay, sir.
Yes, okay. Second slide now we are seeing. Okay.
My topic is foreign direct investment and make in India. Before we start the topic, we can discuss something about the.
Sir, sorry to disturb. I think you have zoomed, so borders are out of frame.
Okay, sir.
Make it 100%. Upside and downside, it is not full.
Hmm. Hmm.
Reduce zoom, I think will do. Zoom 100% is there. Make it little lesser.
Okay. Zoom.
Just after that, where your mouse is. Just after that, 100%.
Enable autonomy 100% app. Then I'm not using Zoom frequently. That's why it is creating
It is
problem.
just after your mouse, sir, where your pointer is there. 100% is written.
Uh,
Just left side, right side of the pointer, where your mouse pointer is.
that is below the more in within more information,
No, not on
or
upside
maybe
side.
app remote control.
No, not in Zoom. Not in Zoom, sir. It is in your PPT only. PowerPoint.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. And now you're moving here. No, not plus side, minus side.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay, that's also.
Now it is okay.
And yeah, if you double click on home screen, then it will be that border will be smaller.
Double click on this.
Not okay. Yeah, that is fine, sir. But you have to
Okay.
move with help of that only, sir. So let it be full. Okay, sir, you may start, I think.
So our topic is foreign direct investment and make in India. And FDI is a part of foreign capital, and foreign capital is a part of globalization. Globalization is integration of markets across the country, and it facilitates promotion of or movement of factor of production from one place to another place. Factor of production include the capital, labor, machines. All these are the factor of production. And another dimension of globalization, we can say it is a multilateralism. Multilateralism lies in allocative efficiency. Allocative efficiency means allocation of resources, available resources, global resources, in such a manner so that we will maximize the production and with the minimum cost of production. In terms of foreign direct investment, multilateralism means import foreign capital from variety of sources that may be efficient sources and export this foreign capital to the best location so that we can combine with the other factor of production in the host country, we can maximize the production. International foreign direct policy, maybe we can classify into the bilateralism, regionalism, and multilateralism. Multilateralism is the basis of the globalization. But our foreign direct investment policy has not reached up to multilateralism level. We are basically investing either on the bilateralism basis or maybe of regionalism, such as European Union has permitted within the European Union countries for free movement of factor of production. Similarly, NAFTA, North America Foreign Free Trade Agreement. Now come to the foreign capital. It is basically inflow of capital into a country from international nations, either in the form of foreign direct investment, maybe in the form of foreign portfolio investment, or maybe in the form of loans from World Bank and other international agencies. And why we need the foreign capital? It is basically need for the purpose of fulfilling the requirement of the host country, because a host country lacking the capital in some respect, where our investment is greater than the savings, particularly in developing country, investment, large amount of investment required, and savings is not sufficient to finance the investment, then there is need of foreign capital arise. Foreign capital fills the following gaps to finance the current account deficit. Current account deficit arise when our import from the other country and export from the country, there is a gap, and import is larger than the export, then there is need to make the payment in the foreign currency, in the foreign capital, for financing the deficit. Another maybe use the foreign capital for the deficit financing in balance of payment, overall balance of payment problem. In 1991, India faced this crisis, overall deficit in balance of payment. Due to that, Indian economy has been liberalized. Another investment gap that is required for the purpose of growth. We need the fund, foreign capital, in the form of technology, skills, and intellectual property. Then for that purpose, we need also foreign capital. Form of foreign capital, we have classified the foreign capital form in three groups: foreign investment, one is foreign direct investment, and foreign portfolio. It is the part of foreign investment. It involves the flow of for FDI or maybe FPI in the form of securities for meeting the gap in management, technology, skills, entrepreneurship. Non-concessional assistance, it is in the form of ECB, external commercial borrowing. It is an instrument launched by the government for the purpose of importing or raising the foreign capital for the specified purpose. Purpose you have to mention in advance for what purpose you are importing the capital from the foreign, or maybe loan we can take from the other government at the market rate. We can also raise the fund from the international agencies such as International Monetary Fund or World Bank and other agency. Mode of entry, how we can enter into the foreign market. Simplest way to enter into the foreign market is exporting production in the home country, and surplus product may be exported to the other country. It involves the low risk, cost effective, and there is no need to set up a production system in the host country. Your home country production system you can produce, but it involves the transaction and transportation cost, including the tariff and non-tariff barriers, also part of this. Another mode of entering into the foreign market, it is a licensing. Foreign company or foreign investor not directly enter into the host country for the setting up the business. They allow to the other company in the host country for the business activity, but they give the license of intangible profit in the property in the form of trademark, production technique, patent, but put the certain conditions with the license, and they can enter into their presence can be shown, such as take the example of McDonald's. That is the trademark. We are using M, a special M type. So that is the licensing. Franchising. It is similar to our extension of licensing. In this case, intellectual property rights are sold to franchisee with the conditions, certain conditions such as process of operational process, maybe of layout, designs. These are the conditions put by the franchisor for giving the license to the domestic company in the host country. Another form of investment is joint venture. Two independent company, one in the foreign company, another one is the domestic company, enter into the joint venture in the form of joint venture for doing the business in the host country. Take the for example of the Maruti Suzuki. Initially, Maruti and Suzuki is Japanese company, Maruti is Indian company. Both enter into the joint venture for the purpose of assembling of Maruti car in India. Another one is foreign direct investment. foreign investor or foreign company directly setting up their own production facility in the host country for the purpose of production activity. It may be either new venture, which is called the greenfield investment, or it may be acquiring the existing company. It is called the brownfield investment. Then foreign direct investment, foreign company keeping the management control and production activity and controlling through their own subsidiary. And when 100% investment in that subsidiary, then it is called the wholly owned subsidiary of foreign company. And what is FDI? We already said FDI is basically relocation of production facility from home country. Home country means investing country to host country. Host country is a recipient country. Host country normally has the locational advantage, and home country or investing country has for capital advantage in the form of technology and other. It is a source of capital investment involving the foreign control of production through the subsidiary. It is also a source of exploitation of exploitation of factor of production with the foreign capital combining with the factor of production available in the host country. And it is also a channel of technology, skills, management, transfer, and it is also transfer industrial development technology. FDI, we all know it is a vital monetary source for required for the development purpose in India and across the country. Foreign direct investment in India is popular and attractive destination for the foreign investor because of the cheaper wages, cheaper labor is available here, and business environment is changing and liberalizing over a period of time. Particularly last 3 decades, we can see our economy has been liberalized, particularly for the attraction of foreign investment, and we have the large market size. So we are attracting large amount of foreign direct investment in India, and it is considered as a best destination for the investment in India. And economic liberalization we have started in 1991, and since then we are systematically liberalizing our economy so that more and more foreign direct investment come in India. And recently government of India, in 2014, government of India has launched a policy or program by our honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, that is called the Make in India. That is basically extension of our liberalized policy. In that case, we have offered the manufacturing for the setting of manufacturing unit in India. But due to the COVID, some foreign investor tried to take over the domestic company, forced takeover, or we can say opportunistic acquisition of the domestic company. Due to this, government of India has changed the policy, and all the FDI will be undertaken under the scrutiny. A scrutiny has been scrutiny of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry before accepting the foreign investment in India. Now we come to the type of foreign direct investment. Horizontal investment, a foreign investor basically expand its business in the other country, but same kind of business activity undertaken by foreign investor as in case of their home country. In case of vertical FDI, we have in case vertical FDI, in case of the supply chain management, number of companies are involved, and number of companies are involved. In this case, also be focused on the business expansion, but we are foreign investor moving to a distinct level of either maybe a backward side or maybe a forward side. Both may that is called the backward linkage or forward linkage for the setting up the business in host country. It is different activity, but activity is related to the main business of the foreign investor. Third one is conglomerate FDI. It is totally unrelated activity of foreign companies in the host country. This type of FDI is it uncommon, as it is very difficult to find a new market and new country. Next one is platform FDI. Platform for the export to the another. Just for example, Make in India. In case of Make in India initiative, Government of India has given the open offer to every corner of the world to come to India and manufacture in India and do the production activity in India and export from the India. Exporting from the India, that is basically giving the, it is a kind of platform FDI. Types of FDI, greenfield investment, we already discussed. It is an investment in new plant, totally new plant. It is a new production capacity, establishing a new production capacity by investors, and it makes additional production facility. With the additional production facility, it increases the GDP of host country and create the employment opportunity. But in case of brownfield investment, existing company is acquired by the foreign investor through the merger and acquisition. There are certain motives of foreign investor for making in FDI investment in different country. In India, motives for making the FDI investment is resource seeking. India has the abundant natural resources. For extracting the natural resources, foreign companies setting up business for resource seeking. India is a very vast country and large country. So market is here, then every investor want to enter into the and make the investment in India for the purpose of market seeking. Another one is efficiency seeking, because cost of labor is low in India. Then it foreign capital may be combined with the other factor of production in host country, then this will a kind of the efficiency seeking FDI. Foreign portfolio investment. Portfolio investment, it is a basically consists of securities and other financial asset. Financial asset is basically a financial claim of holder against the issuer of the financial asset. Financial asset may be in the form of a stock, share, equity, debenture, bond. Like these are the financial asset. It is not a real asset such as table, chair, laptop, which we can directly touch or feel. In this case, foreign portfolio investment, there is a no direct ownership in the or no direct involvement in the management and production activities. FPI is a more liquid and it depends on the volatility of the market. If there is a higher return in India, then foreign investor may switch over the investment from other country to India. If the rate of return is higher in other country, then foreign investor, portfolio investor will withdraw the money from the stock market from India and invest in other country. That's why with the withdrawal of the foreign portfolio investment, we can see our stock exchange index such as BSE index, Sensex, or maybe of Nifty, there is a movement due to large amount of withdrawal by the foreign portfolio investors. Foreign institutional investors are single investors of a group of investors that bring in foreign portfolio investment. FII may be like pension fund, mutual fund, and insurance company. FII is basically a part of broad foreign portfolio categories. Uh, Evaluating the attractiveness for the foreign direct investment or FDI, that depends on the economic, political incentives for the foreign investors and other factors. Because capital is always a short supply and is highly mobile. Foreign investors have the standard criteria for evaluating for the desirability of an overseas destination for FDI firm or maybe every foreign portfolio investment firm. These economic factor may be a strength of economy, can be a GDP growth rate, in level of infrastructure, inflation, currency risk, foreign exchange control, or these are the economic factor. Political factors such as political stability, consistency of the policy, foreign policy or investment policy followed by the government, government business philosophy, track record. We have the liberalized policy and consistently we have increased consistent degree of openness we have increased. So we have the political track record. Consistently, we follow the liberalized investment policy and investor-friendly policy. Incentive for foreign investor, taxation level, tax incentive, property rights, other factors, level of education, skilled labor forces, business opportunity, local competition. If all these factors are strong, then foreign investor ready to set up business in India. Otherwise, they can invest through the foreign portfolio investment. Now, the difference between foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment. We already said FDI as a direct investment, it is a direct investment in the production activity in the host country. But FDI is an investment in a foreign country's financial asset. Financial asset may be a stock, bond, debenture, equity, all these are the financial asset, and make the investment in the stock market that is called the secondary market. In this case, in FDI, investors are actively involved in the production activity, control and management activity. But in case of portfolio investment, investors are passive. They are not involving in the management and control activities. Degree of control in case of foreign direct investment is very high. In case of foreign portfolio investment, degree of control is low. Time horizon for the investment. In case of foreign direct investment, it is a kind of perpetual and it is on long-term basis, but time horizon for portfolio investment is a short term. It is basically focusing on the earning the return on change in the price or maybe rate of return from the investment through the stock exchange. Type of asset in this case, physical asset, stakes in foreign companies, both financial and non-financial. In this case, financial asset foreign portfolio investment may we can say investment in the financial asset. Entry and exit, that is important point. In case of foreign direct investment, it is very difficult to exit from the business immediately. But in case of foreign portfolio, it is relatively very easy to withdraw or exit from the any country and may switch over from one country to another when the rate of return in other countries will high. Motives in case of foreign direct investment, motive is business expansion. But in FPI case, motive is generate the return to the investor. In case of FDI, there is a transfer of technology, fund, and other resources, skills. But in case of FPI, capital inflow to the in foreign countries. Volatility, it is FDI is stable, but in case of FDI, volatility level is very high. It is volatile, and when for example, during the COVID period, we can see the FPA foreign portfolio investment in India increased due to the low rate of return in other countries. Now we can see the component of foreign capital in India and their trend last 5-year data. In this case, foreign investment is within the range of 55 to 63% of total foreign capital in the form of we can see is from the foreign investment. Within foreign, though two component in foreign investment, one is FDI, another one is FP, foreign portfolio investment. In this case, we can see the more than 11% of the total foreign capital in India is in the form of FDI. And more than 50% of total foreign capital India is getting in the form of foreign portfolio investment. In 2021-22, in the form of loans, it is almost 14% of the foreign capital we are getting in the form of loan. External assistance is less than 1.5%, and so we can see that major source of foreign capital in India is two sources, is FDI and FPI, and to some extent it is even the loan component is higher than the FDI in 2021-22. FDI is 11%, just above the 11%, and we can say loan component is around 14%. Now, policy development of FDI in India. Policy development, since independence, we have followed different foreign direct investment policy, ambitious inward FDI policy during the 1943 to 1961. Then we followed the controlled inward FDI policy. Period is 1962 to 1977. Cautious inward FDI during the period of 1978 to 1990, and globalized inward FDI period जो आपका है 1991 to 2014, and make in India FDI policy जो है that is basically extension of the globalized inward FDI policy 2014 to 2022. First three policy we will discuss in brief. We will focus on the last two policy, globalized inward FDI policy and Make in India. First policy, ambitious inward FDI. During this period, number of multinational company was very limited, or basically the majority of multinational company were from the United Kingdom, and they were focusing on resource seeking and in the form of raw material and due to abundance of the cheap labor available in India. Indian market was attractive because of location. India always has the locational advantage, but during this period, India followed the protective policy. Protective policy in the form of import substitution. But due to balance of payment crisis and the foreign exchange reserve, government of India liberalized to some extent FDI policy, particularly in the sector of manufacturing, such as heavy electric equipment, drugs, fertilizer, etc. Another next period policy is control inward policy. It is extension of the previous one. In this case, we followed the protective and import substitution policy. And during this period, Government of India has enacted two major act that is called the FERA, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, which limit the foreign companies' ownership in India only to the extent of 40% of the equity. And MRTP Act, which control the size of multinational companies' operation and pricing strategy. And due to this, many multinational companies such as IBM, Coca-Cola, decided to cease their business and leave the country. Due to this, FDI inflow had declined during this period. Then the Government of India has offered incentive package for the export-based company by setting up a export processing zone to attract export-based multinational company in India. And as a result of this, considerable number of multinational company started enter into the India from the Japan, US, European Union. Overall development of control FDI flow during this stage can be judged from the two angles. First, drastic decrease of inward FDI during this period, and many multinational companies cease their operation in India. It has negative impact on India in the short run. But on long run basis, we can see that there is a strategy to strengthen the local base. Local base, due to the import substitution policy, domestic companies were able to consolidate their operations and build up local ownership advantage, acquired gradually in the form of technology, expertise, know-how of many different business aspects. And during this period, due to the strong domestic base, India is not only attracting more FDI, but pattern of FDI inflow has also changed, and a significant amount of FDI of Indian investor also started investment in other company that other country in the form of outward foreign direct investment from India. And this change in the FDI policy has laid down a strong foundation for domestic company to mature and withstand competition from multinational based in well-developed industrial countries. Next period, our FDI policy from 1978 to 1990. This is called the cautious inward FDI policy. Due to the import substitution, FERA and MRTP, foreign direct investment in India has decreased substantially. Due to this, the Government of India offered new incentive packages for the purpose of attracting FDI in India, which include tax incentive, a special infrastructure for 100% export-based multinational, reduction of tariff, import taxes, expedite clearance and ease in FDI approval. With this change in the FDI policy, India started to inflow FDI from the Western Europe, USA, Japan, FDI increase. Now the globalized inward FDI policy. Before 1991, our economy more or less closed economy. We follow the closed economy and import substitution policy because level of foreign reserve is not sufficient for the making the payment for import. So that's why India followed the import substitution policy. But balance of payment situation in 1991, balance of payment crisis arose in 1991. And because of this crisis, we can see government expenditure was more than earning during this period. So fiscal deficit increased from 9% of GDP in 1980-81 to 12.7% of GDP in 1991. Internal debt also increased from 35% in 85-86 to 53% in 1991. Current account deficit, that is excess of import of goods and services to the export of goods and services was very high during this period. Current account deficit, due to the current account deficit, crude oil prices also increased because of Gulf War. Foreign exchange reserve depleted massively, and by June 1991, India had less than $1 billion for foreign reserve, just sufficient to meet the import requirement of 3 weeks. And India was on the verge of defaulting on international debt obligation. Investors pull out their money, short-term credit dry up, and inflation rate was very high. These are the causes for the balance of payment crisis in 1991. Every crisis, as our Prime Minister always said, every crisis offers opportunity also. Then if during this period, effect of balance of payment crisis as import was restricted for the purpose of improving the foreign exchange reserve position. Price of fuel was were also raised, bank rate were raised, government had to cut its spending. Government had taken the emergency loan from the International Monetary Fund by pledging the gold as a collateral security. And IMF forced the government of India for opening of the Indian economy and integrating with the world. And for that, government of India has reformed their policy on industrial policy reform, trade policy reform, public sector reform, and fiscal correction. In industrial policy reform, license Raj and Inspector Raj before 1991, for setting up any business, be required license from the government. But 1991 reform in industrial policy, license Raj were removed. Industrial licensing was abolished. Measures were taken to increase the investment, both public and private, and including the foreign investment. Trade policy reform, government of India has devaluated Indian currency by 20%, and due to this, the Indian export become cheaper and export level of export increased. Licensing control and regulation on export were also eased. Yes. Public sector reform, previously most of the sector are reserved for the public sector, but in 1991 government of India has opened this public sector for the private investor, including both domestic and private. On the fiscal correction, subsidies for export offered by the government were abolished in 1991. And government has started to follow the LPG policy, that is the liberalization, privatization, and globalization. And due to this, we can see the impact of this on the FDI policy and economic growth of the India. Government measure. Implication of this reform is government of India had allowed foreign investment in the form of FDI up to 51% of equity. Before that, foreign company can acquire only up to 40%. Then majority of share offered to the foreign investor in 34 industry that were on the priority list, exclusively reserved for the public sector undertaking, but it is now open for the private sector and including the foreign investors. Extensive reduction in the tariff on the import, abolishment of the industrial licensing, excluding only few industry, and immediate approval of FDI for majority of Indian economic reform activity. Other incentive also offered by the government of India over a period of time in last 3 decades, such as property and sale taxes, capital grants, direct financial support, assistance to add investor through the feasibility studies. And throughout this period, government continuously conducted systematic revision of existing FDI policy and updated regulation to the further liberalizing as per the change in the global market, so that India retain their competitive position in terms of attraction of foreign direct investment. These new reforms had very significant positive impact in the coming years. India is considered as a favorable investment, considered as favorable destination for the foreign investment because of consistent liberalized policy followed by the India. Many structural reform that were also introduced during this period. And due to this, foreign direct investment from 1980 to 90, we can see it is $1,284 billion, which increased from 1991 to 2000 more than 14-fold and reached to the level of $18,516 million. Now the FDI policy, government over a period of time, quantity of investment has increased from 51% to up to 100% FDI investment in India, or most of the investment or most of the sector offer under the automatic route. There are 2 routes of investment in India. One is automatic route, another one is the approval route. Under the automatic route, foreign investor need to inform the government regarding investment, and in case of approval route, foreign investors need to take the approval before investment in India. Most of the sector under the automatic route up to 100%. From the last post-independence period up to this period, we have changed our FDI policy systematically. Then what lesson we have taken from this changing in the FDI policy? First lesson: even though we have a large market size, does not determine the level of foreign direct investment. It not increase unless until we follow the friendly investment policy. So before 1991, our policy was not investor friendly, but after 1991, we have opened and our investment policy is friendly for the foreign investor. So we can see that impact of that, the foreign direct investment level is increased in India. So we need to systematically improve our policy as per the change in the global level. Second, we can lesson take from here. We need to seek the support from the international institution and expert if needed to access the development program from the IMF or other foreign institutions. Then it help the India to arrive at this stage. Third policy, import substitution policy may be beneficial in the short run, but in long run, exposure to competition and not the government protection measure ultimately help the local company to catch up with the foreign counterparts in terms of technology, efficiency, knowledge, and expertise. Fourth lesson we can take from this India experience implies that process of FDI liberalization is ought to follow the proactive pattern rather than reactive and consistently. And relaxation of policies should be planned ahead and occur systematically. We can take, and these are the sector under the 100% FDI automatic route. It is mentioned in FDI policy 2020. These are the sectors in which the government foreign investor can invest under the automatic route up to not 100% allowed. Second is up to 100% automated route. In this case, some sectors such as infrastructure company, insurance, medical device, pension, petroleum refining, power exchange, in these case, up to 100% FDI can be, foreign investor can make investment. And third one is up to 100% FDI permitted under the government route. In this case, a foreign investor can make investment in India up to 100%, but for that take the approval, prior approval from the government for making the investment in India. And up to 100% FDI under both route, automatic and government route. Up to certain limit, they can invest under the automatic route. Beyond that, if foreign investor want to make the investment in India, then take the prior approval of the government. Some sector are prohibited for the foreign investment, and that is lottery business, cheat fund, trading in transferable development right, manufacturing of cigar, gambling, nidhi company, real estate business. These sectors are not open to the private sector. FDI policy in ENE. And these are the route FDI under the automatic route, under the government approval route, both automatic and government. We can see the line graph of the FDI inflow. We can see this one is the world FDI FDI inflow, and below this line is developed country FDI inflow in developed countries, and blue line it is in the developing countries line, FDI inflow in developing country. And this black line we can see just tangent to the x-axis. We can see it is FDI inflow in India before 1991. We can see that there is almost negligible foreign direct investment in India when we are comparing it with the world FDI investment. Developed countries follow the pattern of world FDI, but developing countries, we can see FDI inflow consistently but slowly increase. In case of world and developed country, rate of growth of FDI inflow, we can see up to 95. It is rate of growth is lower or slow than after 1985. FDI inflow in developed country and world has rate of FDI inflow is faster than before that period. Now the FDI inflow since 1991. We can see in this case, there is a fluctuation in FDI inflow global level. We can see in 1990, since 1991, FDI inflow in 2003, there is a major decline in 2000, and then it start rising in 2003, and again it start declining due to the global financial crisis. And after 2015, world FDI inflow is consistently declining. In 2019, we can say slightly it increased the global FDI inflow. Developed countries more or less follow the pattern of world FDI inflow. We can see there is a more or less same pattern, but we can say in the recent past, particularly during the COVID period, we can see FDI inflow in developing countries is higher than the FDI inflow from the developed country. This is the first time in 2013 or 14, we can say it just touch equal FDI inflow in developed country and developing country is equal. But in 2019, FDI inflow in developing country has crossed the FDI inflow of developed countries. We can see also in table. In case of India, we can say in comparison to the global FDI inflow, inflow in FDI in India is very low and almost around 6% of the global FDI, 6 to 7% of global FDI inflow in India. Now we can see the India FDI inflow the pre-19 whole period from 1970 to 2020. We can see the FDI inflow up to 1992. We can see almost insignificant FDI inflow in India. But after the liberalization, we can see the FDI inflow increasing consistently, but rate of growth of FDI inflow is slower than the rate of growth beyond the period of 2004. We can see the rate of FDI is increasing after 2004. We can see that, but 2008 FDI inflow in India is start declining due to the global financial crisis. Again, it start declining due to the COVID period in 2019. We can see FDI inflow global. In 1974, we can see 91% almost FDI inflow is concentrated in developed countries. And in developing country, highest during this period is 45%, more than 45% in 82. And in India, it is less than 1%, we can say even less than 0.5% in India, FDI inflow pre-1991. And we can see after 1991, FDI inflow in India consistently increased over a period of time. It is in, we can see in 2000, during the liberalized period and globalized period, we can say 83%, more than 83% FDI in 2000 concentrated in developed country. And we declined to 33% in 2020. We can see share of developed country is just above the 33%. And we can see developing countries share is almost 67% of world FDI. And India FDI, we can see it reached to above the almost 7% of the global FDI. No. FDI inflow in India since 2000 and 2001, we can see since 2020, 21, 22, we can see this last column, we can see it is a percentage growth over the previous year. It is important. We can see from here, there is an alternative change in the plus minus sign here. This plus minus sign indicate FDI inflow with respect to previous year increased if there is a positive sign. If there is a negative sign, then FDI inflow in India decreased with respect to previous year. So there is, we can see alternate sign plus minus plus minus, but we can see since 2013 and 14, a sign is positive and continuously it is positive. It indicates what? FDI inflow over this period has consistently increased with respect to previous year. Then we can have the top 10 countries from where we are getting the foreign direct investment. We can see Singapore, Mauritius, USA, Netherlands, Japan, Cayman. These are the top 10 countries. Out of 165 countries investing in India, FDI investment in India from 165 countries. Out of this top 10 countries, Singapore, Mauritius, USA, Netherlands, Japan. Similarly, 58 FDI in India from investment in 58 sectors. We can say out of these 58 sectors, top 10 sector in which India getting the FDI investment is computer software and hardware, service sector, trading, construction, automobile, telecommunication, chemical, hotel and tourism. These are the top sectors. Another important aspect of FDI inflow in India, we can see then FDI in India is limited, or investment is concentrated in some few states only, and other states have almost negligible share. Particularly, we can take the northeast state, we can take the Bihar, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh. These are share of FDI inflow in these states almost insignificant or negligible. Most of the FDI inflow in India is concentrated in Karnataka, Maharashtra, Delhi, Tamil Nadu, Haryana. These are the prominent states we are getting larger share of FDI inflow in India. Now, the another next policy, next initiative is Make in India. Make in India program is launched by the government, by our Honorable Prime Minister, formally launched on 25th September 2014 at Vigyan Bhavan, New Delhi, in presence of many business giant companies from India. Prime Minister said while launching this, I want to tell people of the whole world, come, make in India, come and manufacture in India, go and sell in any country of the India of the world, but manufacture here. We have skills, talent, discipline, and the desire to do something. We want to give the world an opportunity that come make in India. Message is very clear. Government of India is ready to adjust or change its foreign direct investment policy on the customized basis as per the requirement of the foreign investors. For that purpose, government is ready to even privatize loss-making government undertaking and offering foreign investor from every corner of the world. It is not only for make in India, it is also made for the world. Come to India, set up your business, do the production activity, manufacture the products and export it from the India. India is just like a launching pad or maybe a platform FDI. Primary objective of this mission is globe and strengthen the India manufacturing sector. This will definitely increase the economic growth of India by utilizing the existing talent base. It definitely create the additional employment, and sharing of manufacturing sector in GDP will also increase. Target is fixed from presently 15 to 16% contribution of manufacturing sector to the around 25% from the manufacturing. This is the target, and government of India is also through the Make in India policy try to improve the ease of doing business index by eliminating unnecessary laws and regulation, making bureaucratic process easier, making government more transparent, responsive, and accountable for the foreign investors. Objective clear: set up the manufacturing hub with the intention to manufacture the quality product with zero defects. Purpose: create job, particularly for the young generation, development of Indian economy, getting the global recognition of Indian brand. Purpose: getting the global recognition of local brand. The focus of Make in India program is on 25 sectors. This sector include automobiles, automobile components, aviation, biotechnology, chemicals, construction, defense, food processing, and many other sectors, manufacturing sectors. Make in India policy is based on the four pillars. Fourth pillar includes new market, new mindset, new sectors, new infrastructure, and new process. It means government of India, Indian government is ready to open all the sectors and liberalize the policy on the customized basis. It not only boosts the manufacturing sector, but impact of this Make in India can be seen on other sectors such as tertiary. These are the businessmen, business corporate houses was present while our Honorable Prime Minister launching this scheme Make in India. Tata, Reliance, Samsung, Honda, Wipro, Vodafone, all these are the steps taken by the government to make the Make in India successful. Many program has been launched for the people from the rural area and poor in the cities for developing their skills. For that purpose, Government of India planning to set up more than 1,000 training center across the country, across the India. And after the training, a certificate, a skill certificate shall be provided. Target group age group of 15 to 35-year-old, and training provided in key area: welding, nursing, painting. Major initiative of Make in India. Investment India sales. This is basically called, it is also known as investor facilitation sales. It guides the foreign investors regarding the law, regulations, policy, of India, and also introduced with the Indian economic environment. And it helps in procuring the regulatory clearance. Another one is consolidated services and quick security clearance. For that purpose, Government of India has set up a online single window portal, and investors can get within a 3-month security clearance to the investment proposal. Separate dedicated portal business queries has been set up. For that purpose, website is www.makeinindia.com is created, and foreign investor can get the answer to the question within 72 hours, simplifying various policy and law. Government of India has changed the many laws for the purpose of making the Make in India initiative successful. Change in Companies Amendment Act 2015. Before 2015, there was mandatory requirement of minimum paid-up share capital and a common seal. This has been removed by the or changed by the Government of India, and now there is no requirement of minimum paid-up share capital and the common seal. And other regulatory requirements were also simplified. Investor facilitation cell set up by the government for the purpose of guiding, assistance, handhold foreign investor during the life cycle of setting up the business. Setting up Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. Under this, Japan Plus and Korea Plus has been set up for the purpose of attracting the fast-track FDI from the Japan and Korea country. Protection of minority shareholders investor is also offered under the Make in Investment. This is additional safeguard to the minority shareholder or investors. Hurdles in implementation of foreign direct in making success of Make in India policy. So first hurdle is land acquisition. Acquiring the land in India is very tough and complex. Cost of acquisition is very high. Government of India need to set up a straight and robust land acquisition policy so that foreign investor can easily get the required land. Tax and tax, double taxation, tax and tax. Before GST, in India, there are a number of taxes, and that is tax and tax. But with the implementation of goods and service tax, this tax and tax has been removed, and problem of double taxation has been removed. Many provision of Company Act were still very complex, and there is a need to make the certain more amendment in the Companies Act for the smooth implementation of Make in India policy. Policy is very nice and good and attractive, but implementation in India, particularly due to the poor governance, is creating the problem. So there is a need to have a good governance that is needed for the growth of manufacturing sector and proper implementation of Make in India initiative. What are the advantages of Make in India? Make in India, focusing on manufacturing sector and setting up the business unit, new business unit. This will definitely create the job opportunity for our younger generation. And with the job opportunity, a standard of living will definitely increase. Surrounding area will also develop due to the setting of manufacturing in the form of road, electricity, hospital, schools, markets, then improvement in area, surrounding area. With the production activities, it will definitely increase the GDP and economic growth of India. With the more and more foreign currency flow to India, it will definitely increase the value of rupee and appreciate the rupee against the foreign currency. A shift from international brand to local brand. If the production in India, manufacturing unit is set up in India and it start exporting from India to the other country, then it will promote the native brand over the global brand. Technological advances with the FDI in manufacturing sector, definitely India will get the new technology and improving the skills of labor also. Simplifying the business, Make in India is open invitation by the our Prime Minister to set up manufacturing sector and offer it to the everyone for every corner of the world, and government is ready to remove the restrictions and make the investor friendly. Innovative idea from the young generation is needed, and for that purpose, government of India is ready to set up and change the policy so that a rural area development of rural area can be possible, particularly in the field of rural possible. Another is advantage of Make in India already. Disadvantage of Make in India, we can see exclusion of with the setting up more and more manufacturing unit. For that purpose, we need a extra land for setting up the manufacturing unit. Then this will definitely exclude the agriculture activity. As we know, India is dependent on the agriculture. More than around 2/3 of our population is engaged in the agriculture activities. Exploitation of resources. We have limited resources, natural and other resources. If more we will exploit more and more, use more and more resources, then we'll definitely, particularly natural resources, position of natural resources will be exploited more than our use, because we will use these resources not only for consumer of India, people of India, but for the world. Loss to the small entrepreneur. With the setting up the large manufacturing unit, we will definitely lose the small entrepreneurship. Loss of cultivable land. We have limited land for the cultivation. Loss to other sectors. We are Make in India mainly focusing on the secondary sector manufacturing, and little attention then we will compromise with the on other sectors such as primary sector and tertiary sector. So we have to keep the balance between these three sectors. Environmental degradation, this is also important. Pollution level, particularly in the cities, we can see the very high. So with the manufacturing more and more, setting up the more and more manufacturing unit, this will definitely increase or add to the pollution. Make in India policy. In Make in India policy, we have certain targets. Target to increase the manufacturing sector growth up between the 12 to 14% per annum. Increase the share of manufacturing sector in our GDP from 16% to the 25%, and to create additional job of 100 million additional job by 2022, which was later extended up to 2025. And we will set up the manufacturing unit for the purpose of export from the India. So there should be export-led growth. Policy changes. We have changed the policy by Make in India, and growth in three key sectors we can observe. In case of manufacturing sector, were three important variables we can see in terms of investment, output, and employment growth. We can see in last 8 years, it was launched in 2014, then we can see performance of Make in India in last 8 years. FDI inflow in 2014 and 15 was $45.15 billion, which reached in 2020 and 21 is $83.6 billion. And we are expecting FDI inflow during the financial year 2020 and 23 around $100 billion. Then definitely FDI inflow almost double in India since the introduction of or launching of Make in India policy. Import of toys in 2020-22 reduced by 70%, and India export of toys registered a tremendous growth of 636% during the period of April to August 2020 over the same period in 2013. Production link incentive offered across the 14 manufacturing sectors. It was launched in 2021 as a big boost to Make in India initiative. Initiative to support Make in India schemes, National Single Window Schemes. It is launched in September 2021 to improve the ease of doing business. This integrate multiple existing clearance system of the central government or a state government to enhance the investor experience. Another important initiative of Make in India, that is Gati Shakti. It is a program for multi-modal connectivity. This is related to connectivity movement of to the manufacturing zone in the country, that is called Prime Minister Gati Shakti program, which will ensure logical efficiency in business operation through creation of infrastructure that improve the connectivity. Another one initiative of Make in India is One District, One Product. We have 626 districts, I think, total number of districts in India. Sorry, 726 districts in India, then One District, One Product. This initiative launched with keeping the aim that promotion and production of indigenous product, distinct indigenous product from each district, and providing global platform, particularly to the handloom, handicraft, textile, agriculture, and process product, which will definitely further contribute to the socio-economic growth of various regions of the country. For improving the toy export and reducing the import, Government of India has increased the import custom duty from 20% to 60%, and also introduced quality control, sample testing of imported toy. Due to this, import of the toy reduced significantly, and export has increased from India. Schemes for building semiconductor ecosystem. Make in India schemes recognizing the importance of semiconductor in the world economy. Therefore, Government of India has launched US 10 billion incentive schemes to build a semiconductor display and design ecosystem in India. There are certain issues related to Make in India program. Most of the FDI investment is from the Mauritius-based companies. Basically, India has set up the foreign company there, and through that, rooted again, this is through the investment through the sale company. Mauritius-based sale company, which are suspected to be investing back money from India only, which is rooted also routed through the Mauritius and Singapore. We can see low productivity. Indian labor is less productive in comparison to the Thailand and China. McKinsey report states that Indian workers in manufacturing sectors are on average almost 4 to 5 times less productive than their counterpart in Thailand and China. Due to the small unit of Indian industrial units, due to a small industrial unit, India is not able to attain desired economics of scales, and there is need to make investment in modern technology and increase the size of investment in industrial unit. Another one is infrastructure. Electricity cost same in India and China, but power cut in India is much higher than in the China. Transportation, average speed in China is 100 km per hour, while in India 60 km per hour. Another red tape is that is also a problem in India. Bureaucratic procedure and corruption is also a issue associated related to the Make in India program. So performance evaluation, we can check performance evaluation by considering the 3 variable: investment, output, and employment. We can see the investment, last 8-year investment has increased, slowly increased, but it is not up to expectation. In terms of output, we can see that the share of manufacturing, rate of growth of manufacturing unit is not in double digit. Our expectation is 12 to 14%, and also share of manufacturing unit in GDP is 15 to 16% only. Employment, we can see the unemployment rate is very high in India, particularly last 45 years, highest unemployment rate in India. And then we can see that key outcome were to increase the share of manufacturing to 25% of GDP, create 100 million of additional job in manufacturing. We are not achieve this target, and manufacturing share is limited to 15 to 16% only. Failure of Make in India program till date. We have set up the goals for setting up the manufacturing hub in India, but we have not required infrastructure and skill labor. Due to this, we are not able to fulfill the requirement for achieve the target of Make in India initiative. Exploitation of resources is also another reason, because resources is limited, and Another one is lack of competitive advantage of domestic company when we are comparing with the other company of other countries. Then we can see we are lacking comparatively because of maybe of size, technology, and other factors. We definitely improve our ease of doing business ranking, but still need to make some changes or make the India more attractive for the investment. With this, we can conclude and Make in India initiative has been striving to ensure that business ecosystem in nation should be conducive for the investor friendly, and must have a level of infrastructure should must increase as per the expectation of the foreign investor. And our purpose, make in India, are also made for the world. We will achieve this policy, this success. We will make the success of this initiative will definitely aid to the economic growth, economic development of country, and will definitely increase the job for the younger generations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. It was interesting presentation on FDI. There's one or two questions, 2-3 questions are there. You may take up in, like, first question is which one is in between FDI and FII become
Yes.
more employment generating for country like India?
FDI is creating the employment. I think FPI, foreign portfolio investment, is investment in the stock market. So we should focus more on the FDI for the purpose of employment, such as Make in India program is focused on the employment generation, and target of our economy is creating 100 million additional job.
Okay, sir. Second question by same Anupam Sharma is whether is there any cause-effect relationship between FDI and devaluation of Indian currency?
FDI and
devaluation of currency.
Devaluation. With the devaluation, we can increase our export. With the increasing of export from India and our policy, Make in India policy, it will definitely increase the production level. More demand of the Indian product leads to the export from the India, then this will definitely increase FDI level. And both we can see that impact of many research paper available, impact of FDI on the economic development, and also impact of economic development on FDI inflow. So both are correlated, and many all the research shows positive impact on both front, on the impact of FDI on economic development and impact of economic development on FDI.
Okay, sir. So another question from Anupam Sharma is that FDI is increasing in India after LPG policy. So is it good for the Indian reforms, economic reforms?
Definitely FDI we are lacking in the form of technology, capitals, then deficit investment. Our investment requirement is larger than our savings. Then FDI is one of the major source for filling this gap.
Okay, thank you, sir. We had only these 3 questions. So with this, I would like to say thanks to you for sparing your time and giving us an informative presentation on FDI in India. And on behalf of all the participants and on behalf of HRDC Mizoram University, I would like to say thanks to you. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity for presentation.
So, dear friends, this is the last session today. So, we'll close our session here itself. Tomorrow again, we will meet at 10 a.m. morning, and we'll be having 4 new sessions tomorrow. First session will be taken by Professor Himanshu Bhushan Rao. He is head professor and head department of tourism and hospitality management in Mizoram University, and he will be speaking on tourism in India and its multivariate effects. Then second session will be taken by a senior faculty of Department of Management from Central University of Andhra Pradesh, Professor C. Rama Prasad Rao, and he will be speaking on paradigm shifts for personal victory. Third session will be taken by a very senior professor from Department of Public Administration, Lucknow University. He had been vice chancellor earlier of university, one of the university, our university, and he will be speaking on good governance and higher education. And the last session tomorrow will be taken by another senior professor, Professor Kalpana Sarathi. She is Deputy Director of TIS Guwahati campus. TIS means Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Guwahati campus. She is Deputy Director there. And she will be speaking on post-pandemic sensitivity of faculty for effective teaching and mentoring.